All right, do you know the feeling, right? You're lying in bed, it's late, you should be fast asleep, but your brain has other plans. It's just going. You're imagining different futures, replaying conversations, maybe you're even the star of your own action movie. It feels a lot like dreaming, but here's the thing, you're wide awake. And that brings up a really interesting question.
So what's the deal with all this late-night mind-wandering? I mean, it seems like a pretty straightforward question, but the answer actually tells us something super interesting about how our own brains work, especially after the sun goes down.
So, let's just ask it, point blank. Think about it for a second. Can you really, truly call it a daydream if it's happening at night? Does that even make sense?
The answer is absolutely, 100% yes, you totally can. But the reason why has nothing to do with what time it is, and everything to do with a little mix-up over what the word daydream actually means.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. The name itself is the misleading part. To really get why you can daydream in the middle of the night, we have to forget about the day part of the word and just focus on what's really happening inside your head.
Okay, so zoom in on the most important part of this definition, right here, while you're still awake. See what's missing? There's nothing in there about morning, noon, or night. Daydreaming isn't about a schedule. It's just about being awake when your mind decides to wander. That's it. That's the whole game.
And I love this because it puts it perfectly. It's not like your brain has a little clock it punches at 5 p.m. that says, all right, imagination is closed for the evening. No way. It's an always-on feature as long as you're, awake.
Okay, so that makes sense. But if it's the exact same process, why does it feel so different, so much more intense when it's dark out? Well, there's a really good reason for that.
Think about it. During the day, your mind wanders while you're stuck in traffic or in a boring meeting. It's competing with a million other things, emails, notifications, noise. But at night, all of that just goes away. The world gets quiet. And in that silence, it's just you and your thoughts, which lets those mental stories feel way deeper, way more real. And that is why it can almost feel like you're dreaming for real. But here's the kicker, the big, crucial difference. You're still the one in charge. You're conscious. You're in the driver's seat. You can steer the story wherever you want it to go, or you can just decide to stop and think about something else. You have the control.
Which brings us to the final piece of this whole puzzle. The big question, right? If it can happen any old time, why in the world do we call it a daydream? And boom, there it is. It's not a scientific rule, it's just a historical habit. People way back when noticed their minds drifting off during dull chores or long afternoons, and the name just kind of stuck. It's basically a nickname, not a neurological command.
So let's just put a pin in this. From a pure brain function perspective, there is zero difference between your mind wandering at 2 in the afternoon or 2 in the morning. If you're awake, your imagination is open for business, period.
So instead of thinking of this as some weird, broken daydream that's happening at the wrong time, there's a much cooler and, frankly, more accurate way to look at it.
And this right here is such a fantastic way to think about it. It's not a bug, it's a feature. When the rest of your world finally powers down, your creative mind is getting some much-needed, uninterrupted time to really stretch its legs. It's not you failing at sleep, it's your imagination working late.
So from now on, when you find yourself wide awake at 3 a.m., your mind racing, maybe don't fight it. Just recognize it for what it is. Your imagination has the whole place to itself. So the only real question left is, what are you going to let it create?